All right. Hello, everyone. Welcome to another pop up segment on the series on Hope Deferred. Hope Deferred is the theme of these pop up sessions. Give me one moment. Okay, great. My sound is good. And so give me a second. Um, and then we're going to get started. All righty. Awesome, awesome, awesome. So let's get started with our topic for today, which is Hope Deferred Has a Purpose. Hope Deferred has a purpose. So, real quickly, before we get into the topic for today, I just want to do a quick recap on last session. If you haven't had a chance to catch that session, it's all on my Facebook fan page as well as YouTube. So feel free to go back to catch that one. But last time we talked about how trauma awakens the heart. It awakens the heart with prophetic revelation. And I actually call it revelation trauma. It's when we're traumatized by truth, when truth comes to expose our lies. And it could be a form of violation to our internal sense of safety, security, and stability because we thought that we were operating in truth until truth showed up and said, no, that was a lie. And so it's when, hey, welcome. So it's when trauma awakens the heart with prophetic revelation that is a form of revelation trauma. And then it gives us an opportunity to make an executive decision. Are we going to embrace the truth and continue to pursue truth? Or are we going to settle for the lie that we have taken on as our truth due to past traumatic experiences? So we have an opportunity to make a decision. And with that exposure, it exposes our artificial heart, our artificial identity that was rooted in lies, fabricated as truth due to our traumatic experiences. And it gives us an opportunity to pursue an authentic heart. Our authentic heart, authentic identity in alignment with what God intended for our identity and purpose for being here in the earth realm before the foundations, before He put us in our mother's womb. So that is what happens with that first. And so then once we make that executive decision, and my prayer is that we all make the decision to seek truth and authenticity, that is when the hope deferred season begins. And so for us to endure the various turbulences and things that happens during the season of hope deferred, we must understand and know what hope deferred, the purpose of hope deferred, because it does have purpose in our lives. So a couple of things as far as the purpose. The purpose of hope deferred is to take us through a reconstruction process. Remember, our artificial intelligence, identity, and heart has been exposed. So we're going through a process of deconstruction, dismantling, uprooting to reconstruct according to our authenticity. So it's just like a construction site. When they tear down an old building and build up a new building. And it's all about removing the residue of our past traumas, healing those soul wounds, and all of those things so that we can be reconstructed and built on truth and not false truth that we believe that's truth because of what we experienced pertaining to our traumatic experiences of our past. So that is the purpose of hope deferred. And if we think in terms of an actual physical construction site, we know that sometimes it takes a long time for the process to complete, for them to finish the process. And why? Because seasons change, there's rain, there's snow, depending on where this construction site is located. There may be staff, once part of the season they have enough staff to work on the project, and then people may switch out, quit, move on, and now there's low staff. There may be financial challenges, or getting making sure they're operating in compliance with the city and the health codes and all of these different things. So it's all of those intricate components of constructing a building of some sort that causes the project to be prolonged. And so they may have a specific date in which they want it to be complete, but then there are these challenges that may occur that prolongs the process, and that is hope deferred for us. So two of the things that it serves as a purpose is, one, it is to protect our reconstruction purpose and protect it from contamination. Because a lot of times we see with a construction site is all gated off, guarded off. No one can enter into the construction site unless they are the workers. And I call it being hidden in plain sight. People, you right there, but it's as if you're not, and people don't see you, because he has some barriers. He's covering you because he doesn't want this process to be contaminated. It's like that of in a cocoon before it turns into a butterfly. Caterpillar in a cocoon is protected while it's being reconstructed and going through a metamorphosis phase to become something totally different. And that is the same. Another purpose for hope deferred is to make sure that we don't enter into other reconstruction sites that is not our assignment. So a part of the hope deferred process is detours, and which comes off as a part of delay from our perspective. But there's detours as we're moving through this process to make sure we're not taking on extra weight, extra warfare, extra challenges that's not ours to carry or bear in our reconstruction season, because it's not our assignment. Some are, some isn't. And that is another purpose of hope deferred. So those are a couple of purposes of hope deferred. And as I get ready to close out this lesson, I want to talk a little bit about hope deferred from the biblical perspective. Now, all of these segments is coming from the biblical verse, Proverbs 13 and 12. Hope deferred makes the heart sick, but when the desire comes, it is a tree of life. And that actually shares with us another purpose of hope deferred, is to teach us and train us how to cultivate and maintain a healthy heart in all seasons and conditions. That's the purpose of the process. So if we understand that that's the purpose of hope deferred, then we will not allow ourselves to come out of our hope deferred seasons with a sick, depressed, defeated heart. But it will be healthy and it will be fulfilled once that desire comes to pass, because we caught the lessons during that process to steward our heart, the condition of our heart, well. So when we look at the word deferred from the Hebrew, I'm not even going to pronounce it, but it's Mashak. And it has several definitions, but I'm only going to go through a couple. So one of them is to draw, to develop, to march, to remove, and to be tall. So during the whole deferred process, something is being drawn out of us that we didn't know was there, being activated, brought to life, drawing out. There is a sound being released in our authenticity. To develop, our character is being developed. Our capacity to steward the prosperity of our soul is being developed. Our capacity to steward the health of our heart is being developed. To march, we're giving marching orders during our hope deferred season. That's when we're receiving from the Lord the desires of our heart as He attended. We're receiving His will. We're receiving a mission, a vision for our prophetic purpose for being here in the earth realm. To remove is removing all of the residue from our past traumas, is healing the soul wounds, is removing all of the false narratives from our mind. And to be tall. Tall is an adverb and it means in a proud, confident, or erect manner. So it's building our confidence in God in us during our hope deferred seasons, where we come out tall in Him. We come out possessing the fullness of our authority, our power, our courage, our grace that's given to us by the power of God invested in us, Holy Spirit. So that is becoming tall in us because it's a decreasing of self, decreasing of our humanity, and an increasing in our divinity process during the hope deferred season. So those are several purposes as to why hope deferred is necessary. And my hope is that this will these lessons will help each of us embrace and engage the hope deferred seasons of our lives without complaint, like the children of Israel, with joy, with praise, with anticipation. If we know that the hope deferred is working all of these things in us, it's a long suffering process. It's teaching us how to maintain a healthy heart. Then our heart will not grow sick during the time of hope deferred seasons. Is really one of the things too, because even I'm gonna go back to this verse and then I'm about to close this out. Hope deferred makes the heart sick, but when the desire comes, it is a tree of life. When the desire comes, it is a tree of life. Faith is the substance of things hoped for, the evidence of things not seen. So in a hope deferred season, we are learning how to be a tree of life before the desire is fulfilled. We are learning how to be a tree of life before the desire is fulfilled. That's when we know that we are engaging the hope deferred season well. when the fulfillment of the desire has first taken residency in you. I am the fulfillment of the desire that's on the other side of my hope deferred season. I demonstrate it. I am the demonstration of the vision. I am a demonstration of the promise, the plan, the purpose is me. So during the hope deferred season is really for us to embody the fulfillment of the God-given desires that's in our heart. And when we understand that, our hearts will not grow weary, our hearts will not faint, our hearts will not grow sick, depressed, angered, angry, frustrated, any of those things, because we understand that I am becoming that which I am expecting God to do in my life. It first begins with me in the state of being, the very thing that I am hoping for. And that just means being the character, the stature, the integrity of the person that we must be to steward that which we are hoping for well. So can we become that person in our now that's fully positioned and postured for our next? That is the purpose of hope deferred. Now, when we do that, the set timing that God has will not matter, because we know that it's going to happen. I know that God is going to do what he said he was going to do, because he's done the inner work in me. I am that person. So everything else must align in his set divine time for the grand opening of my construction site, my building, my land. Whew, I'm so stirred up in my spirit. Yeah. And then that's when we could really just take joy and enjoy the scenery of our hope deferred seasons, because we're it. It's me. I am. And therefore, everything else is in alignment, even before I see the full construction of the manifestation of the vision. Because that's the thing, when we think about these, going back to a physical construction site, they already have a blueprint of what they're building. They already have a blueprint of what it is that they are going to erect on that particular land that they're preparing the foundation for to build upon. They already know what it's going to look like in all of the details. So when we actually allow those details in God's blueprint of what the promises in our lives is going to look like, first take residence in us, I am the blueprint. It's me. I've become the blueprint before the blueprint has manifested intangibly in this earth realm for others to see. Because I yielded to the whole purpose of the hope deferred season. For me to transform, be purified, be made new, be healed and delivered from past traumas and soul wounds, to become the mere essence and demonstration of the promise before the promise has fully manifested for all others to see, because it begins within me. Hope deferred has a purpose. And at the end of the day, the purpose is you, because God is more concerned about our state of being than the state of our external reality. The heart of the Father is that our external reality is a reflection of our internal state of being that is anchored in truth and in eternal things, heavenly things, seated in heavenly places in Christ Jesus. And everything else falls in line to reflect who we are seated in heaven, to be positioned here in the earth. Woo-hoo. Yeah. All right. So that's all I have for today. I invite you to join my Clubhouse club. Let me put that in the chat, because we're gonna have a Clubhouse room on this topic. Hope Deferred has a purpose. And so that'll be next Tuesday. So when you go on Clubhouse and join my club, you'll receive a notification to join that particular conversation. Also, the replay will be available if you are unable to make the live conversation there on Clubhouse. So we're going to do that over there. And then the next pop-up, we're going to get into what actually happens during the Hope Deferred seasons, because we really have to know the purpose first so that we're able to endure the turbulence, because it's the real deal, folks. And when we learn about some of the things, many things that happen during our Hope Deferred seasons, we'll understand why we must know the purpose and be prepared to navigate all of that, because it's really all about teaching our hands to war and our fingers for battle, our hands to war, and things of that nature during Hope Deferred season. So that is going to be exciting, because it's going to be a trauma perspective. So I'm going to talk about the various different traumas that take place during our seasons of Hope Deferred. So that's going to be yummy. So don't miss the next pop-up. Make sure you click the bell. You're fully subscribed. You have your notifications on for my YouTube channel and my Facebook page at Freedom Coach M. Miller. So you will receive the notification for the next pop-up, because it's a pop-up and these are not planned far in advance for you to put it on the calendar. So you want to make sure you have all your notifications on. All righty. So this is your Freedom Coach, Natasha Miller, signing off. Until next time, peace and freedom to you all. Bye-bye.